Kool-Aid drinkers. Ho, 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 welcome back.
Whoa.
Yeah, this is exciting. Hey, this new schedule's come out, boys. What do you think? Are you excited? Oh, my goodness, I can't believe it. We're all jacked up about that. Hey, this is the Drinking the Blue Kool-Aid crew. Big Z couldn't make it tonight, but we have some heavy hitters tonight. We have Bob.
Hello, everybody.
And Rud Dog.
Yo.
And I'm UJ, and we're here to bring you the latest and the greatest Lions and the best, the Lions podcast out there. You all know it. Come on. You all know it. Yeah.
Facts.
All right. So Bob, Rud Dog, did you guys see any of the interviews with the new coaches over the last couple of days on the Lions website?
Yeah, I was watching the Scotty Montgomery one. Well, I did watch that one, but I was thinking of John Morton one, actually.
Yeah.
But he was really good. It sounds like he's got this offense. They're going to just kind of continue what they're doing and, add some wrinkles, but everybody knows what they're doing already. And I'm sure they'll disguise things, so Ben Johnson doesn't know what the hell they're doing, but
yeah. Doesn't it seem like his personality is like so like 360 from Ben Johnson? Not just his age, but the way his demeanor and the way he talks and like everything. I don't know.
You went from like kind of like socially awkward nerd to like a more grizzled like just dude. Ben's always seemed a little bit like he might be on the spectrum.
There's only one
smart, but Ben's like trying to channel his Dan Campbell now. He's like trying to be funny and it's a little awkward.
It's not working.
He's awkward.
Well, yeah,
he's one of those guys who he's smart. That's what he is. He's not the most charismatic guy out there.
No, that's true. But that John Morton, I don't know. There's something about him. There's one thing he said that kind of bothered me. He talked about how he helped put in this system a couple years ago because he's with the Lions then, helping put this new system. So I'm not worried about his knowledge of the system and all that stuff. But he says, "I'll do whatever they tell me." Like he said that, like a good soldier, And I don't know. That hit me wrong.
We want him defying Dan's orders on the field.
No. Just I don't know. Like if you're some genius, you're not waiting for someone to tell you what to do. You know what I'm saying?
Well, I don't think he's coming across as like some rocket scientist. When he was talking about, he's like, I'm not like putting in a system where there's like, I want to know what players I have, what they're good at it, and then we're going to do what they're good at.
Yeah.
That's, you don't have to like be Matt Patricia with a space degree or whatever the hell he had.
In fact, it's better that you're not Matt Patricia. That's
well, does it make you wonder sometimes? Do you think like last year and the year before, how many of those fourth down calls? It's Dan Campbell, right? Campbell's doing it, right? Not the O coordinator.
Yeah, so. I mean the O coordinator's got to have a play ready for that situation, but but Dan's making the call whether to go for it.
I mean that's the bottom line. It's still Campbell doing it, making those kind of calls.
Yeah, and Morton even said, he goes, because they asked him about that specifically.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm going to learn, like what the situation is, because it's all new to him too, like as far as how he works with Campbell, like in that role. I mean, he's worked with him before, but
I'll tell you why I'm not worried though at all, because of Dan Campbell. And, Ben Johnson gets all this freaking credit for being this genius and stuff. But if you remember when Campbell took over the OC job on his own, when he fired, what's his name? Anthony Lynn. He kind of took over that offense and like pretty much ran on his own and then brought Ben Johnson in to sort of take it over. But it was Dan Campbell. His imprint is heavy on this offense. So I'm not really worried where it's going to go.
Well, and his philosophy, like you heard some familiar lines when Morton was talking, like he mentioned how it's going to be week to week, like the game plan is going to, they want to be multiple so that they can do whatever's necessary that week. Sometimes it might be hand the ball off 100 times. Sometimes it might be, pass, but drop back a bunch of times or whatever. Like you're going to tailor it for based on our strengths and the opponent's weaknesses. And, that's all good stuff, but that's like the philosophy. That's the entrenched whoever, like, and I think that's going to be the case here too. Why Morton might be such a perfect candidate for this, because this is becoming like the Belichick Brady kind of like thing. Like you might be a new offensive coordinator there, but like this is Jared's offense, this is Dan's offense, and the philosophies will remain, and you're going to work within a certain type of structure.
Yeah,
there's plenty of room to explore because Dan encourages creativity. So
yeah, you got a good point there, and also the players are so accountable on their own to each other.
Yeah.
They're not waiting for someone to tell them what to do, you know?
Definitely.
No.
And, UJ, what, it was on the positive side, that I don't want you to be worried.
I'm
You're
not
worried.
I'm not
Yeah,
really.
don't be worried,
You
UJ.
know,
But,
it's
Take a sip of Kool-Aid.
but on the positive side, John Morton kinda lit up when he was talking about, like, the tools that he has. He's like, kid in
he
a candy
did.
store, he's like,
He
"Oh,"
he
and,
did.
like, when he's talking about JMO, he's just like, "Oh, man," he's
Ye
like, "This is gonna be a big year for him." Like,
He did. He said that directly. This is gonna be a huge year for JMO. So,
yeah.
that tells you where his mind is at.
So,
Yeah. Anyone who's on the trade JMO bandwagon, talk to John Morton. I guarantee you, he'll probably just slap you in the face for the dumb question. Like that,
Yeah.
if you don't think that man is 1,000% stoked to have a guy like
Yeah.
JMO to mess around with this year, I mean, maybe I'm saying something we all know, but this guy's trending towards top of the league receivers this year. I don't think 2,000 yards is outrageous to even put on the radar for JMO. I mean, maybe he's too young, and there is a lot of only one ball to be spread around with all the great talent. But like, he's so damn good, and he's so explosive. You just can't teach it.
Yeah. I think we will see some more. The 2,000 yards thing, I don't think is gonna happen, but
No, I mean not
yeah.
really, but
for the
like,
reason you said, for too many weapons out there, you gotta spread that ball around. But more 9 routes, I mean, more deep
he
passes
doesn't
for
need to
sure.
be featured to get a shit ton of yards. He got 1,000 in the fastest time anyone's ever done it last year, or with the least amount of targets. So I mean, like, you don't. He doesn't need the same amount of volume that Amon Ra's gonna need to get the yardage.
Right.
He's a
Yeah.
big playboy, and like, I don't know if I'm them. I'm watching Randy Moss and Tom Brady and drawing a ton of inspiration from that because I think he has a kind of a skill set that's similar. That sudden acceleration that can just take the top off of defense
Well, he does have with the acceleration. I'm not sure about the
and
other
speed.
qualities, but,
He's not 6'4", he's like 6'1", but, like, I mean, if you were watching that year, it wasn't like Brady was throwing Moss a shit ton of jump balls or something. They were destroying and just dissecting defenses with surgical strikes constantly. I mean, he's gonna have to learn. He doesn't have all the savvy that Moss had at that point in his career to get off the line and beat press and stuff. I'm just saying he has the upside to pull off stuff like that, I think.
for sure. Any other coaches catch your ear?
Yeah, a little about Scotty Montgomery. He's going to be the receivers coach now,
Yeah.
and moves on from the running backs. But that, like he was talking about, that kind of touches each other. Like because your receivers are blocking for the running backs and vice
Right.
versa. So and as you know, the players at the Lions draft are willing blockers, and everyone's just football players. There's a certain type of
Yeah.
player on this team. Even the least guy is a baller. So
Right.
they've got a lot of cool tools to work with. But Montgomery, it sounds like he's trying to better himself, and he's working across the coaching, and he's doing assistant coaching now, head coach. So another bright star in the future there. So
Yeah, I think it's a great observation, Bob, because I was listening to Shep, and I really liked his he came out today, I think they interviewed him today.
I didn't
But
catch it yet.
I just love that guy. He's just so
He's great.
animated, and he believes so much in this organization. But he was saying what you're saying, that the this organization is not about just winning football, but it's about developing people, and getting the best out of them. And Shep said, even as not as football players, but these coaches, like, they want them to improve and get better, and reach the heights that they can possibly reach, and Shep's one of those guys that's
Yeah.
a true believer, and he said how everyone wants to come to this team now. People want to play here, and so on and so on. And but on a player side, he said something encouraging to me, and that was Marcus Davenport's been in the gym, been working out at the facility like all year pretty much, and his body even looks different. He's healthy, and granted, I know he's had a lot of injury problems, but man, when that guy's healthy. So to me, I was encouraged by that little tidbit of news too. So
yeah,
who
That is
knows?
good.
Who knows?
I mean, if that guy can string together a full season or close to one and be available for the playoffs, that our defense is going to be nasty.
Oh my God, it's gonna be
I mean,
nasty.
even without him, it's going to be nasty. But he'll definitely add that next level.
It's gonna be so nasty.
nasty.
But no, I came away from some of these interviews very encouraged. Dave Phipp, I can just listen to that guy talk all the time. He's just
he's
so
awesome.
He
just
is
so
so
awesome.
unique.
I don't know how to explain that guy, but
Don't you? Obviously, we're not an NFL. Any danger of being in the NFL, but don't you just want to strap on the pads when you listen to these guys talk? You're like,
oh my
oh
God,
man,
yes, absolutely.
shit.
No
Go to
kidding.
war, baby.
No kidding. So I can imagine.
I love it when he came out on his press conference, was like, "Oh, I know you're all excited. He's back," or whatever, like, or something like that. And you're like, "Oh, that's kind of funny." And then he starts talking, and he has that such unique like voice and laugh. Like you're just like, "Oh, this guy is such a character. I am glad you're back." He's so funny.
Oh, for sure, he is. Like I said, I could listen to that guy all the time. But the coaches are great. They did some good player interviews during the little mini camps, and those are interesting too. I don't know if we touched on those last week a little bit in our last pod. I think a little bit.
Tyreek.
It's a really interesting draft.
Tyreek, anyone notice his NFL comparison is Aleem McNeil for a lot of people, and he looks like when he has his like head beanie thing on, like he has the same kind of dreads, and then like some of his like facial shapes and the way he talks like is even kind of like sounds a little bit like him. Like it's like a big or little brother, I guess, big little brother, because he's a little bit bigger. But I mean, it's just a funny thing. I think those guys are going to do great together.
Attack of the Clones. That'll be
Oh, it's going to be awesome. I can't wait.
One other player tidbit. I just thought was interesting that Giovanni Manu was working out with Taylor Decker on the offseason.
Yes.
I think that's awesome because
I agree.
Decker's obviously one of the elite NFL players, through his career, and like to have that working with him, that's amazing.
Oh yeah,
room baby.
Yeah, I love the way these guys work with each other like that. They're not there's not a jealousy thing going on. They're trying to help each other, make each other better. I mean, Decker knows this is the guy who's going to replace him theoretically,
hopefully,
maybe within the next year or two. But he's out there helping the guy and doing the best he can. And if he becomes half as good as Decker, it'll be wow.
Oh, man,
I just want to say one thing about Decker though.
Could be better than Decker,
First of all, I picked him in the draft that year. I said that was going to be our first draft, and they picked him. I just had to throw that out there, pat myself on the back a little bit. But
I remember that.
But his kick step is so elite in the NFL, like maybe as good as anybody I've ever seen. Because I don't know how many times I've watched Lions games over the years with him, thought he was offsides, and he wasn't. He's just so right on the snap with that kick step. It's just, I don't know. That's got to be, Doug, you played O-line. That's going to be a huge advantage to have a step like that to get yourself set.
Well, yeah, because like you said, you're set before they start making their move. Now you got then they have to decide, and you got the initiative.
Right. Yeah. So
who's that dude on the Chiefs that always does it like a half second before the snap?
God, yeah, that guy's terrible.
They never call him.
They never call it. I know. Anyway, some good stuff. Hey, the schedule came out, boys.
Yeah, that's the big news.
I'll just want to say quickly, apparently we have like, I think the second or third toughest schedule in the whole league. The toughest, I believe, away schedule. And let's see what else. But one good thing about this, two good things about this schedule I see. Our bye week is in week 8. Thank God.
That's the best thing there, man. I love that.
Not week 4, nice. Geez. This is
I wanted it week 1.
No, so that's what we used to do in college. Like our bye was in week 1.
It was
so stupid, but we only played a 10-game schedule, so
we just played a scrimmage and stuff.
But the other thing was they measure this thing. I never knew this before, but like rest days, like during a season. So the Lions have more rest days than any other team in the league this season. Something they've measured since like 2002 or
during
something like
that. During the season, you're talking about?
Yes, during the season, because of the way the schedule's laid out, and they get an off day or maybe the Thursday night, Sunday, whatever the gaps are in the games, they have like a 13 more rest days than they have more rest days than other teams. I can't remember.
Yeah.
Anyway,
and they have the fourth least amount of miles traveled, I guess, from game to game.
Yeah,
like 11,000 miles. Or
something. So there are some good things about it.
Yeah, and to me, that whole the toughest schedule that doesn't always play out. Like the way it is, like supposedly the toughest schedule, but then some team sucks or whatever that you didn't know.
True.
I don't know. The only bad thing I heard was that it's the third toughest schedule and not the first toughest schedule.
Yeah, the Giants had the toughest schedule, I believe,
Like,
which is so weird. And Cleveland, I think, is the second toughest.
but
Does
that's
that
why
even make sense?
my favorite part of the schedule is that we got freaking Philly, Kansas City, and Baltimore all on the road.
I know.
That's great.
That's
like
gonna be...
that's all heaviest hitters in the league, especially on the AFC side. Like that's gonna be a gauntlet. This I love this. This is a gauntlet, baby. We gotta go through it this year, and I'm all for it. Iron sharpens iron and all that. You gotta be forged in fire, and this team
it's
will
different
relish
though.
that.
Oh, the Lions are the elite team. You know, they're the team you don't want to see on your schedule because they're what a difference from a few years ago. Someone was talking about this on the radio today about how a few years ago we're like schedule come out, you're like, oh, I hope we're on the Monday night game, hope we're
right.
And now we have five night games, so we have 12 national games. We're the national game for 12 weeks.
Isn't that amazing?
Yeah, what a
amazing.
Lions are hot, man. Everybody wants to see them.
I know, and for good reason. They're the most fun team in the league to watch, for sure.
Hell yeah.
Well, let's go through the schedule real quick, okay? And I love the opening game. I love it at Green Bay, baby, September 7th. Woo! 3:30 start in Chicago, 4:25 Eastern. For Red Dog, that'll be like 1 o'clock in the afternoon, something like that. I don't know. Anyway, what do you guys think? Green Bay to open up in Lambeau.
I like it. I like it. Nice challenge right out of the gate.
Yeah, I agree.
Beat up on our little brother right out the gate, baby.
Followed 1 week later by another division rival, Chicago Bears at home. 1 p.m. game on Fox.
Ben Johnson returns home.
Yeah. Oh, baby.
Can't wait.
We're going to set that rat trap, Bob, remember?
Yeah, the rat trap.
Set the rat trap, put a big piece of cheese on there for Ben.
Yeah.
Great opportunity to start off 2-0 for the division.
I love it.
Yeah.
I'm in Chicago, so I listen to Chicago radio, and the Bears are like, this is their year, man.
God.
Everybody's like crowning them champs, or not,
God.
like Super Bowl, but you know what I mean?
Right.
They think that the Lions have lost all these coaches and the Bears are ready to leap on it,
yeah.
I don't know. It's just funny.
It's because it's after the draft, and they always feel so positive in the preseason when
like we used to
made
feel.
Some moves.
Remember when we win 3 games one year? We'd have a really good draft.
Like, confidence stuck around all the time, but no, I didn't get to finish because they swing wildly towards the most negative as soon as reality hits.
Oh, yeah.
Like they will as soon as things start going wrong, they're gonna trash the shit out of this team. And
yeah, they do.
Like that's why they're so happy right now. This is when they're always so cocksure, and then they're gonna be the first one to trash their own team when things go bad, and that's what they do. So yeah, things are playing out as you'd expect. Hey, but this time you got here's the thing though. You know what this feels like to me in a lot of ways? Like it does feel like a Matt Patricia move, or like maybe even like what's his face. It feels like so many of the moves we made before we finally fired, like Quinn and Sheila finally took over this organization and fixed it from top to bottom.
You have to explain something, Red Dog. What kind of Matt Patricia move are you talking about?
I'm saying this feels like the Bears made like a hire that's like a Matt Patricia or what's his name, the guy you didn't like. They've hired their head coach, or maybe if it's a good one. Like who was it? Who's the head coach we had before Patricia? I'm spacing. Somebody help
me. Schwartz?
No, Caldwell. Like it feels like that, where like even if is somewhat competent, it doesn't matter. The organization's rotten to the core. The Bears are a shit organization. They can make all the surface level moves they want a head coach down. As long they got a GM that has been there through multiple failed organizations, just like we used to do. Their ownership constantly undermines. Like they're just not a good organization, and that's what we used to be before Sheila took over and fixed things from the top down. And now that's a large part of why Brett Dan's even successful anyway. So like you can put lipstick on a pig and you can put good pieces at the lower end of the organization, but that until And they might get a flash in the pan here and there, but I just don't. I'm not worried about the Bears because I do think they look tough, talent wise on the field. They look good, and
I think they'll be
Ben's
better this
smart.
year, but they've got a long way to go to catch the Lions. That's all.
I think they'll be tough because they have acquired a good amount of talent, and I think Ben will be more competent than the coach before him. But I think the organization will end up undermining him probably at some point.
Eberflus was terrible. I mean, I think Ben Johnson's already better when you just listen to him talk. Eberflus, like after the game, oh, let's look at our list. What did we go? What did we do right? Yeah, I don't know. He just sounds like a dope. But anyway,
but like you said, you can put lipstick on a pig, but you can't make him drink. I know. So
that's right. It's the old saying.
Yeah, it's the old adage.
All right, week 3.
Yeah, week 3. The Baltimore Ravens.
Our nemesis. They're always tough.
This might be the Lions.
Monday Night Football. Woo! Are you ready for some football?
I am excited with the healthy Hutch.
Yeah.
Hutch in that game.
My God.
Yeah. I think this is a good test for the Lions. Luckily, Tucker's gone now, so he can't kill us with a 70-yard field goal at the end of the game.
Yeah. Thank God.
I wish he was back because we wouldn't have given him the opportunity.
Man, yeah. Lamar Jackson's already pooping in his pants a little bit, seeing us on that schedule right there.
This one might be the one I look forward to the most of all of them because it's like, I don't know, one, we owe him one from the last time we played him.
Yeah, we owe him one.
And two, I do, in a way, I think they might be I think they're the most formidable regular season team out there.
Yeah,
besides
make an argument for that.
Like, they always choke in the playoffs, but man, with Lamar's running abilities and everything else they got going on, they're just such a tough team. I'm so excited to take them on. I think we got the juice to take them down. But like all these top team games, I think are, you're getting, I believe we'll win them, but they do get more into that like coin flip territory, where they got good guys. They got really good guys too. So it's going to be a battle.
Oh, for sure. That's going to be a tough game. Monday night, though, man. Got to love that.
Heck yeah.
I know where I'm going to be that day.
And we thrive on prime time, so.
Yeah. So after that, we were followed by the Cleveland Browns in Detroit.
Not that exciting.
No, not that exciting.
No, I'm just kidding.
The Shedeur Sanders debut, maybe. I don't know. If he wins the job by then, who knows?
Who knows?
Maybe Dion will be on the sidelines, cheering his kid on or something. I don't know,
someone's got to, give them some lessons on their rebuild. We'll give them some hard knocks.
Well, and Myles Garrett will have some new chains and stuff because he's got his big contract, so he'll be iced up pretty good. So
he's gonna roll his ankle in week 1.
Yeah, like they did. Who's the quarterback? Deshaun Watson when they signed the big contract. He's injured for most of it.
So the next game is the Cincinnati Bengals. And Bob, this goes to what you're saying. Look at these games. Green Bay, Chicago, Baltimore, Cleveland, Cincinnati. Not a lot of travel in there. It's all within kind of like a little part of the Midwest.
Not geographically,
Cincinnati is they're anticipating, I guess they're projected to win 9 wins this year or something like that. So they're supposed to be good.
Cumulative.
They got
this will be Trey Hendrickson will get a revenge on the Bengals in this game, because he'll be signing up with the Lions pretty soon.
So that's another dream I have. I hope that happens before.
I know. He looks unhappy. Cool. I don't know if we'll get him.
I know he looks so unhappy. We should make him happy.
Yeah, you would make him
come
happy.
to Detroit, Trey. Come on, buddy. Come on. Yeah, him and Hutch. Good Lord, that would be awesome. My God. Anyway.
But that'll be a fun game.
I could be on your team.
Yeah. So then, to further the fun, October 12th, week 6, Kansas City Chiefs, Sunday Night Football. Baby, at Kansas City. We love to ruin their games over at Kansas City, right?
We're going to wear the all whites for that game, I think.
I would think so. Yeah, I would think so. Yeah. So, I see a definite win there. That's a good one. And then followed by Monday Night Football again. Whoa, Tampa Bay Bucks. The Tampa Bay Bucks.
We seem to play them every year.
We owe them one from last year. So
Lions are going to be pissed after they let that other game go away last year.
It's kind of cool that we got a little rivalry brewing between us and them in a way. Like especially because there's some history there. Like back to the NFC North, or no, what were we? Central? Weren't they part of that? And then
they were back in the day. Yeah, they were actually.
I like I mean, we beat them in the playoffs, and they beat us early last season. Now we're seeing them again this year. I don't know. I like it.
This is good, like night games and a bye week in the October, so you can hit the cider mill and the pumpkin patch and all that stuff, and
That's right.
still see the game. You don't have to go on the hayride with your kid, like with your phone, just trying to watch the game. So this is a win for everybody.
We're going to the
that
night
was
ride,
well
honey.
said.
No,
That is so true. Oh my God, that's so true. All you guys out there, you know it's true. You know it's true.
Yeah, till your wife says we're going on the nighttime ride, and then you're like, damn.
That's hilarious. So week
Phone
8,
it is.
they're playing Call of Duty because they got the day off. Yeah, so I think the players will be playing it or Madden or Call of Duty.
Dan would
wherever
never
those guys
accept that.
play.
They'll be doing push-ups.
But finally, a rational bye week.
Yes,
week 8 instead of
God.
week 4 or whatever the hell it was last year.
Week 4 was a little rough.
Yeah, can you imagine playing that many games in a row, like without a break? What was it, 14 games in a row or something like that, or 13? It's insane. It's just so.
Well, like, and then what are the odds that you get a schedule like that and then have like a weirdly like historic run of injuries on one side of the ball?
Right, and if you look at what happened last year, I mean, we got the bye in the playoffs, which we obviously needed rest. But you know how you do something a really long time, you go, and then as soon as you rest, though, like the air comes out, man. Like it's hard to get it back going again, And I think that's part of what happened in the playoffs against Washington. They were playing every week. They were fresh. I mean, fresh in a way.
It's like
it's hard to get that back.
When you blow out your engine with like you pump out all the tubes of your engine, but like it ends up instead of like it cleans it, but then it ruins it because like all the residue that had built up was actually like holding it together. Like you get a little like you think, oh, this will be great, and then next thing you know, you're not quite what you were.
If we have any mechanics out there, we'd like to discuss that analogy with you.
Yes.
No, we don't.
A little bit.
That one, yeah.
Yeah,
like to best not discussed.
Work on that one a little bit.
But
so the residue's good for your car.
I think it worked.
The gunk in your
engine.
You
never heard that? Yeah, like you can get like you can go and like you pump out, like you blow it. Yeah, you know what I'm talking about. Don't play with it.
Well, I still believe that you never change your transmission fluid. So like other people said you change. I said no, you're not supposed to. Once you do, your transmission will die. And my truck has 250,000 miles on it. Never changed the transmission fluid. So
wow,
it's still going. So
you're also the never wear deodorant thing, and you've been doing that for years.
Well,
he has a lot of solace. No.
Yeah, well, I'm a naturalist at heart. I use leaves to
wipe from the trees.
Leaves. You'll shower if it rains. You'll go outside.
Yeah, I'll go outside.
Mother Nature showers me.
I can do my laundry and myself at the same time. But oh God,
that's a man one with nature right there.
So that's what we're doing during our bye. Anyway, just Sunday, the next week 9, Minnesota Vikings. Woo!
Like Queen
in Detroit.
I know. What do you guys think of the Vikings this year? I mean, they were awesome last year during the regular season. I mean, their record was great.
Yeah.
They'll be interesting to see J.J. McCarthy playing for them.
I'm very curious about J.J. I'd see how he does. Yeah, I think they'll be okay. The Vikings are going to be tough. They got a good team. I mean,
I think the whole division will be tough. But yeah, no, I mean, I do think it's interesting though. Like, I'm curious to see because like I do think McCarthy will be good, but like they had a dude put up like a historic season for him, and then they go another direction the next year. Like,
yeah, but come on, really anybody with their eyes can see at the end that he wasn't the guy.
Yeah,
so,
definitely.
I know he got him through a great season, record season, but you can see the wheels falling off at the end there. A lot of it was on him.
They fell short.
A lot of it was on him.
If I were a Vikings fan, I would have wanted to move on from him myself.
I mean, they only lost 3 games last year. So, I mean, whatever. Like, he played a really good season. It's easy to knock him. I mean, like, I know, like, he didn't always look the greatest, but I'm just saying he objectively played a great season, a historically great season. And now they're going to a rookie, basically. So I do think McCarthy could be good, but he's still going to be a rookie. So it's up in the air, and he does have some tools, but I'm not afraid of them.
There's always been the last couple of years, though. There's been a rookie that's made the playoffs, like C.J. Stroud, and then last year, Jaden Daniels. So
yeah,
you never know.
yeah, you never know.
Does he? Will he get rookie? Actually, now because I just remember he's actually a
Yeah,
sophomore.
I guess he wouldn't be a rookie, but you know what I mean. It's his first.
I mean,
year,
he
so,
effectively is, but yeah.
yeah.
So I mean, I do think he's got intriguing skill set, and I think he will be good. But it is still going to be a rookie season.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
maybe he'll pick it up fast.
Well, week 10.
JJ will help that.
Week 10. This is a game everyone's going to be anticipating. Washington Redskins or Commanders. Whatever. I still call them the Redskins. I don't care. I'm old. I can say whatever the hell I want.
It's America.
Washington Redskins. Although Washington did declare that they're never going to change the name back to Redskins, despite the Indians wanting it back. So anyway,
are they still fighting about that? Hasn't it been years ago since that's been?
Well, but they declared
the cartoon artist,
the
like,
new order,
wrote a
the
whole
new
thing
owner,
about
whatever his name is, declared it recently, like a few months ago. I read it where he says the name's never going back to Redskins. He's already just said that. Just get used to it. It's not going to happen. So,
yeah,
there.
I liked football team better than Commanders, but
yeah,
me.
Commanders is.
I did too. I kind of like their uniforms. They just had the numbers on the side, and
that was kind of cool.
They were cool looking uniforms. I like them. But yeah, we're gonna be definitely watching that game. Jaden Daniels, yeah, he's gonna have Hutch in his face this time, boys.
Yeah,
and some others. It's gonna be a different story.
Outcome for this game, man.
So many things like our we'll have Anzalone, Rodrigo, Barnes, like all healthy, like potentially, hopefully.
Ali McNeil might be back by then.
Yeah.
The middle of the season.
We'll have.
We're just gonna call him the Egyptian anyway in our podcast, probably.
The Egyptian,
you know, like Tim Patrick's the Irishman. He'll be the Egyptian. You know.
Here's a little analysis tidbit that's kind of funny though. Like anyone who's looking at him as like this great potential, like we finally addressed our DN position. His athletic traits are like almost a near carbon copy of Josh Pascal's.
Pascal, yeah.
I'm just saying they ran the same exact 40 time at almost the same height and weight.
Yeah,
actually,
does he have
a little more explosive?
Does he have Hassane's violent hands though?
No, he does not have. His violent hands.
I think he's got more violent hands.
Has he ever done CrossFit competitions? No.
No. Pascal's a good piece down on the team, but he's not this elite guy that you think he is.
No.
I mean, but
he's not yet.
But the Egyptian, he's a sleeper. He's gonna end up in the Pro Bowl, man. Not this year, but he will be in the Pro Bowl.
I'm with you, brother.
Peril.
Yeah, this is a great pick.
I love obviously I love him. I love Pascal, and he has the same traits, so why wouldn't I love him?
But I'll tell you, just watching his interview, I've never seen a guy more humble, more grateful, more like the happiest, more positive. I can just get happy watching that guy talk.
Yeah,
he's so.
Actually,
he said he would die for Campbell too. So
he said he would die for
that. What I do think he might have over, what I'm hoping, and maybe he might have over Pascal, is maybe some more finesse to his game. I don't know, but I also think Pascal's going to have a big year this year.
Heavy hands.
So, talk crap all you want. He's going to show up.
The hands, the heavy hands.
Yeah, Pascal was called a war daddy coming out. So.
All right. Well.
Okay. Anyway,
I don't know why you guys decided to hate Pascal. I thought you were
because you just keep railing on him constantly about Pascal. Let's drop it for a minute.
Yeah.
Jeez.
You're like, we don't need anybody off of touch. We have Pascal.
That's not what I've ever said. So.
All right. Anyway.
All right. I think we had
that
the
wasn't even my point
for Easter. I think, but
you
anyway,
are the ones obsessed with Pascal. I was only making a point that it wasn't about Pascal.
Wait. Week 11's coming up next.
This is a good one too. This is going to show the world who should have been champs last year, because we're the Philadelphia Eagles at Philadelphia, of course. Yeah, just you Detroit fans, if you go to Philly to watch the game, though, probably should arm yourselves because those fans are crazy.
I know Philly's like a great team and everything, and they had a great draft, but basically the Lions tripped on the right before the finish line, and they just like stumbled through, and got the win.
Yes.
Come on,
he did. You're right, Bob.
This should have been the NFC Championship.
The Lions
year,
were like,
we all know it,
walking backwards at the end because they were so far ahead, and they were like, "Hey!" And then they tripped.
This is the game we didn't get last year that we were all looking forward to.
I was looking forward to that one. Yeah,
this was supposed to be the NFC Championship, and we didn't get it. And
well,
I think this is arguably the heavy hitters of the entire league in this game.
Arguably is,
For the
yeah.
top two teams, like in terms of just pure roster. I mean, we're brimming with talent, and they are too. And like, I can't think of a spot where isn't like who's got the better this, that it's not just like coin toss almost.
Hot take.
I'd say we got better.
We have the better quarterback.
Yeah, baby.
Hell yeah.
Absolutely.
Hell yeah.
So we continue on our journey through the NFC
Maybe
East.
receivers too.
Following the Eagles, we take on the Giants. Oh yeah. Now the Giants are going to be interesting this year, I think. I forget who that quarterback is they drafted. The kid from Mississippi, right?
Dart, is that or no?
Jackson Dart, or whatever.
Dart.
So I'm interested
intriguing.
in that kid, and plus they got
definitely more exciting than Daniel Jones.
Abdul Carter, right? They got Abdul Carter. So this team is going to be interesting to watch. They've been floundering around for years, like kind of like the Lions of yore.
Wow, Abdul Carter.
Yeah. So,
and I just realized, and Kayvon Thibodeau. Sorry, UJ.
No, I know that it's going to be a combo there. No, that's why they're going to be interesting. So this should be an interesting game to watch. So, but they do have a rookie quarterback, so I do give us a huge edge in this game, and plus it's at home. So yeah, I like it. So next week we take a break from the NFC East and go back to our own division. Thursday, Thanksgiving Day. And they move the game up or back another half hour to noon Central Time.
That's weird.
Yeah.
1 p.m.
I don't
Eastern.
like that.
I don't either.
I like it. It's always been at 11:30 Central, 12:30 Eastern, and I don't get it.
I set my clock by that. Every year I set my clocks one time a year, and that's the day I do it.
Morning turkey bowlers will appreciate not having to miss as much of the game or any of it, hopefully. But beyond that, I don't know.
Anyway, they for whatever reason they decided to change
our turkey bowl after the game.
But the bottom line is it's still our tradition, the Lions tradition, who started it many years ago. And we're going to be playing the Green Bay Packers, baby, at home. So
let's go. When was the last time we played the Packers?
I like that. What do you think of having the Packers on Thanksgiving? I like
tradition.
Because they used to play them a lot early in the rivalry.
They did.
It was like exclusively at first. Like I think here's my understanding of it. It was exclusively Lions Packers tradition at first, and then Vince Lombardi got sick of us always spoiling their playoff chances and stuff on Thanksgiving because we were crap, but we would beat them still on like the Thanksgiving magic. And then he pulled the Packers out of the game and we stayed, and now it's our game.
I don't know if that's true, but it's a great story.
Yeah, it's a great story.
Yeah.
I know Lombardi pulled him out though. He didn't like the losing on fluky games to the Lions, who should have never beat him.
Well, that's true. That's true. We
I love
usually play them tough. But it should be a fun game, man.
Weak mentality.
I don't know. We've struggled a bit on Thanksgiving over the years, but
we turned it around last year.
Yeah, we did. Yeah, I like Green Bay. I love to. What better way to prepare yourself for a Thanksgiving feast and beating up on the Packers? I mean, can you think it's hard to think of anything better than that?
Yeah.
No, they're my least favorite team. Easy.
Awesome. So that's great. Now the next game, we're going back to the NFC East again. And I don't know why they're in the East. The Cowboys are in freaking Texas. What are they doing in the East division anyway? It doesn't even make sense. But they are
on the NFL map.
Nonetheless, the Dallas Cowboys, who strike fear into absolutely nobody. So,
and that's a Thursday night game, right? So they're a week away. We get a full week of rest for this game. Yeah.
Adding to that extra rest days that they're getting over the year. So, 2 Thursdays in a row. Pretty interesting.
To see, what are they even at as a team? Like, what's their? I don't even know anything. Like, what's their identity anymore? They're just kind of like falling off the
Micah Parsons.
Yeah, Parsons. I guess they got CeeDee Lamb still, right?
Yeah.
Do they still Dak still their guy?
I mean, I don't know. Who knows?
Yeah,
Who cares?
whatever.
I hate those guys anyway.
Yeah,
hate them.
They're fun to beat, and we
will beat them.
We get them at home now this time, right?
Yeah, at home.
We've had to play in Dallas for the last few.
Right.
That's nice.
In last year's, besides Hutch going down, was glory.
That was a great game last year against Dallas, man. They just
oh my god, that was
opened
beautiful.
up the playbook. It was
crushed
so
them.
That was one of those games where you just never fretted the whole game because we just so owned them the whole game. It was so great,
so good.
Yeah. So anyway, the next game.
How many attempts did we do to O linemen in that game? Sorry, that was
Well,
hilarious.
they were
We had
determined to score.
Yeah.
3 or 4
Yeah.
I know.
offensive lineman passing plays.
Yeah, look for Sewell to score week 14 this year. We're gonna get that thing.
I hope we
finish it.
keep some of that
Gotta be
attitude.
Decker though, right?
I hope we keep some of that revenge attitude with us, though. You know, like
We got a lot of
things like
revenge
that.
this season.
Yeah.
So yeah, I hope we keep that attitude with the new OC. But so the next week, another interesting game at Los Angeles Rams, baby.
One of the tougher.
Another Stafford
Yeah.
meeting against his old team.
Yeah.
Stafford
Settling
hasn't
in
done too
around
good
the top of
against
the
his old
league.
team, has he?
No, I think didn't he beat us once?
I think.
Not record wise. He's played great games and lost.
Yeah. But I think he
Yeah.
did win one in LA the first year. I don't know, but
Yeah. No, did we play him that first regular? Yeah, you're right. Right after the trade, I think he beat us.
I mean, there's still
And
this
then-
little spot in my heart that I love watching that guy play, but I just hope we crush him that day.
Yeah.
You know.
we will.
Well, I still like my theory there that this is just going to be like Stafford's purgatory. He's just going to keep coming back to the Lions and play like out of his mind and losing efforts. So he can get crushed by our D line.
But it's in LA too, so you know, again, that makes it interesting. Another one of those away games against a good team.
They're shaping back to one of the top teams right now with what they got going on.
Really good defense there.
They've reloaded after that Super Bowl so quick. That
Yes,
verse
they
and
did.
Fiskey, to replenish their defense. Like they got some guys in the draft this year. They'll be tough.
But you know, just to touch on the draft theories, you know, how people out trading all your draft picks away. Look what McVay did. He traded so many draft picks away to get Stafford and all that shit. They win the Super Bowl. They have a one down year, and then they rebound to become very competitive once again the very next
Because
year.
they could draft
Yeah.
well.
And now they're back to where they have normal draft picks like everybody else, you know, like so it just makes you
Well, and
wonder
then
about
getting
that.
Puka Nakua in like the 6th round.
It's well, sure, it's good drafting. I mean, yeah.
Well, that's the
but
key. Then Verse and Fiskey to replenish that defense, and that other rookie that had a bunch of sacks, their D tackle last year.
Yeah,
No, I mean, well, that's what we were waiting to see. Because you know what's interesting? The rule of thumb. The problem is it's never contextual. Like that's and Brad faces the same problems all the time. He's always being judged against fictional measurements based on like generic rules around drafting and how to proceed in building an organization. Like this year, all the edge talk. We need to get an edge early. We need them early. We need them early. But what did Brad do? He stuck to their procedures and what they are good at and what they know, and that's drafting men who are great at football and regardless of position.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
now look at what they've done. They said F them picks. Everyone thought that's stupid. They've just sabotaged them. They swung for the fences. If they missed, they got their one, they'll suck now. But I guess that's not true because they replenished their drafts. So,
Yeah. I'd like to get
Yeah.
that one.
yeah.
yeah, we're gonna this year, baby.
But Brad Holmes coming out of that organization, that speaks well for what the Lions are going to be like going forward.
It does really.
It's because he hasn't done what some past GMs have done with the Lions, where they try to make a splash trade or like bring in a big name or something. He just stuck by what he does. It wouldn't surprise me if he traded away some first rounds, like if the thing felt right, but
Right.
that's not his mode of operation, like modus operandi. But
Well, he's showing
You're
if you
right, Bob.
draft
He,
right.
He's a very disciplined draft guy. But the one thing I will say though, he just loves to move up to get guys.
yeah,
He
does.
just loves maybe not first round all the time, but like he went up to get Tesla with he moved up 35 picks to get him because he
32.
perceives that people want these guys, so he's not going to let other people get them. And
Yeah.
Moved up
and
to
so-
get Ratledge too.
but how great to go after people you want. Like I want that guy. So what do I got to do to get that guy? Because someone's probably going to pick him before my pick. I got to trade up and get him, and that's what he does. And boy, it's really worked for him. So
And he's been able to
Boy, has it.
use these undrafted guys and the late round guys and hits on some of those, which helps. We don't need a third
Yeah.
rounder.
And then
Yeah,
like
exactly.
he's judicial with his free agency. He targets that's where he plugs holes in free agency, and he does it so well. Like
But yeah,
what trades, like we traded a third rounder for Carlton Davis last year, but this year DJ Reed, on paper a fantastic move to plug that hole. And
yeah,
but he doesn't swing for the fences there because he's not going to pay the big money outside of our organization, generally speaking.
Yeah.
And that's where everyone worrying is like, they're going to be so happy when we re-sign Laporta, when we re-sign Campbell, when we re-sign all these guys, because he didn't bust it all on some swing for the fences guy who we don't even know.
You're right. And he's been good at bringing in those. I mean, Reed's going to be, that's a bit more to spend, but a lot of these guys, he brings them in for 1-year contracts, like veterans, like they have to prove themselves for their next contract. And it's worked. They don't always hit, but a lot of them have. And it's been pretty,
the bargain bin shopping.
Yeah.
Like you said, when it works, it's great.
Kaminsky is a great example of a guy who, you make a kind of inspired move towards a guy who shows a lot of the right traits for you, and you give him some new life. And I know he faded, and we didn't get the vision never fully developed with him, unfortunately, because of the injuries and stuff. But honestly, just the increase in talent, I think he was kind of doomed here eventually.
Yeah. So,
but still, he did a great job in the time he was here.
Worried about our St. Rita boy Pat O'Connor a little bit this year because he's got a lot of competition in that D-line room this year.
Yeah.
If he makes this team, he is a badass. That's just
first of all, he is a badass. Loaded. He went to St. Rita, and then he's just naturally a badass. He just is.
That's a knock against his badass.
And for those of you who don't know, Pope Leo was involved with St. Rita High School, and
that's right.
He's an honorary alum of the school. This is before he became Pope. Pat O'Connor might know him because a lot of those Rita kids know.
That's true.
Leo,
So we have a papal connection.
Yeah.
With the Lions. I love it. Yeah. And some people say that one of Pope Leo's first miracles was teaching physics to St. Rita kids. So this was his first miracle.
I just had you just gave me like a vision of like a parody movie called Papal Connection, and you'd like make a whole thing like based on like the French Connection, and like have like car chases and the Pope.
Yeah.
The Pope bringing justice.
They'll bring the Pope mobile into the Ford Field one day, Wouldn't that be cool? Like at halftime, the Pope mobile rides in.
That'd be awesome.
Pope Leo's out there, and Leo the lion, Leo.
Yeah.
Come on.
Get Leo and Rory together, come on.
Oh my God! Can you imagine?
Pat O'Connor has the pull and connection to get the Pope onto the Detroit Lions field in the Pope mobile.
Yeah,
I will shit my pants.
He should have been Pope Rory though, like Pope Rory the First would have been probably better name, but
maybe they could get Leo to do the ball toss where you try to win. You throw it in the can, and then the further down the field,
win a scholarship.
Oh my God. Ooh. Okay. We're gonna.
Pope Leo he's won a Ford F-150 with the Lions logo on the side, and then he'll use that as a Pope mobile.
I know this is.
We're all going to hell.
I know this is Chicago related, but since we're talking about the Pope, has anyone seen like the jokes, like videos, like he instead of the communion, he gives like a roast beef sandwich?
Yeah, I did.
The wine is Malort.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Yeah, it's been a lot of fun with the Pope stuff.
So we digressed a bit.
Anyway, yes.
So the next game, week 16, the Pittsburgh Steelers in Detroit. The reason I'm interested in this game is I want to see Jack Sawyer and TJ Watt together on the field at the same time. I think we will beat Pittsburgh. I think we're a better team than them. I don't know who their quarterback's going to be this year. I don't know if they know. I don't know if anybody knows. But
that's the mystery.
They got a competition brewing.
Jack Sawyer is one of those guys in the draft I was really kind of interested in. I kind of would have loved to have him in the second round, maybe. And I'm just curious to see how he turns out as a pro. Yeah, but anyway. So the Pittsburgh Steelers at home, followed by the next week, Minnesota at Minnesota. Yeah. Our last two games are on the road. So at Minnesota, a Netflix game.
We have a Netflix game? That's fantastic.
Netflix game. Yeah, 4:30 p.m. Eastern. So
I mean, whatever you want to say that resembles about like society and it's our decline, like I know I'll be able to watch that game.
And this is Christmas Day too, which is the twist here.
Well, Christmas Day on Netflix.
Red Dog's birthday.
That's right. Yeah. Red Dog. Christmas baby. Yeah.
Get a Lions victory for birthday this year. That's fun.
And that's what they're planning. That's
me and Jesus both rooting for the Lions, baby.
All right. Well, so that'll be fun. So then January 3rd or 4th, it's to be determined, we finish our season with the Chicago Bears in Chicago in the frozen
Wunderbar.
tundra, or wherever the hell it is in Chicago at that time of year. And I'm sure it'll be cold and nasty and gnarly, but who cares? It's gonna be great.
I hope it's
We're gonna
extra
crush
cold and
them.
nasty and gnarly.
So
You know, it's like I'm gonna do a weak prediction here, but
okay.
this game won't mean anything to anything other than like the Bears. They won't even be able to play spoiler. I think we're gonna have it locked up at this point, and they're not even gonna be in
It'll be like
contention.
Ben Johnson going to keep his job. Is Caleb?
Yeah! And we get to rub salt in the wound as we trounce them on to a playoff berth.
Yeah. Boy, that would be something. So, well, that's it. We kind of went through the schedule. So, yeah, it's on paper, it's a tough schedule, but you know what? Those teams all have to play against the Lions.
Wonderful.
So, you know, think about that.
I don't know. It's a different calculus these days, in my eyes. Since we're one of the top dogs now, it's like look at the schedule. It's like whoever we play, we play.
You're right. You're right. Exactly. I mean, because we can beat any of these teams any day. Yeah, no doubt. In the past, if we'd have been lucky, we would have had to have one of those really weird, miraculous days where we just got hot for no reason and just beat some team like we should have never beaten a million years.
I remember that. Like back in the day, like beat the Cowboys and their throwback uniforms. You're like, oh yeah, this is it.
Those days are over, man. This team, we expect them to win, and they generally come through. So this is like, I mean, for longtime Lions fans, this is a whole era that we're still getting used to. In my,
maybe it's because I have a
loving every minute of it.
Maybe it's because I have a screw loose, but I've always wanted a tougher schedule, so this suits me just fine. This schedule looks grueling and wonderful all at the same time. I want the tougher the better, baby. Bring it all, and I guarantee you, Dan Campbell wants the same thing. He don't want no weak schedule, no matter what. Like, you want the best, bring them on, baby. Because when you go through a schedule like that and you make the playoffs, you're gonna be so freaking battle hardened. I'm all for it.
Yeah, and you never know with these schedules. Like the week schedule a couple years ago was the Seahawks are coming to town. Oh, they suck, and then they blow us out. You know, like
where did Geno Smith come from?
Exactly.
So you never know. You never know.
Yeah. No, I agree with you, generally, Road Dog. Like you said, iron sharpens iron, and you know, Campbell's got to be loving this stuff. This is all motivational. I mean, it's just all great. And this team wants to be the best, and they are determined to be the best. And I just love it. And the whole makeup of this team.
Bob, one thing the other side of that coin, it could be harder than initially said. Like, cause like the Bears schedule, like their record was likely to go up. I think even the Packers could improve a little bit. Like, there's going to be some teams that get better than last year's record suggests. This could end up as the toughest schedule for all we know.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Vikings could even be better with the worst record, you know?
Yeah, right.
But apparently, one of the new ways of determining toughness of schedule is now by Vegas odds of over and under games won.
No.
So now, not by last year's records.
Makes sense.
So like they'll take Vegas odds. Like the Bears won 4 games last year, or whatever. But I think this year they're projected to win 8, and the Bengals are projected to win like 9. So they're going by those projections to determine the toughness of schedule, which is probably a more accurate than going by last year's schedule, since you're not the same team you were last year.
Yeah,
every year's a new year. Even
gambling
for
houses are stunningly accurate. It's like,
well,
so like they know all like how they play both sides, and they somehow like just have an incredible that data they get off of betting somehow gives them stunning insight. So I think that's not a bad idea for pointless projections. That
I think the Lions are 10.5 is the
10.5.
Yeah,
that's it. I mean, it's a tough schedule, so I mean, I think we'll be much higher than that, but
I think we'll be higher than that. But I don't care if we win, 16 games or 15 games. I just want to be in the playoffs and healthy at the end and peaking at the right time. And that's what in the NFL, that's what matters. You got to be peaking at the right time. The Eagles peaked great last year. I mean, every Super Bowl team, if you look at them, they seem to just peak at the right time. They get hot.
Yeah. Look at the Chiefs 2 years ago. They were kind of mediocre for most of the year, and then they rolled.
Hell, even last year they didn't win it all, but they still got there despite having a lesser looking team than previous years.
No, you're right.
Or the Packers, the wild card year, they hit it
Yeah,
stride at the perfect
Aaron
time.
Rodgers, yeah, they eke into the wild card and they run the table, and yeah, they peaked at the right time. It just
You
that's
just gotta get your ticket in, baby. That's all that matters. You gotta make the tournament.
but I
And I mean,
guarantee
obviously
you,
you want to do it a certain way, but as we saw last year, how we do it doesn't matter.
right? And I think Campbell is acutely aware of this thing. I guarantee you he's had sleepless nights just thinking about that last season. What we could have done to peak at the end. He's got to be just considering all this.
God,
Like
I
he's one of the
would
most
pay money.
he's one of the most thoughtful, not thoughtful in a like kind and nice, but like he thinks about details and things like deeply. Like, and I think he's really this in my mind. He's thinking in the off season how I can get this team to peak at the right time and at the end. When he failed last year, he did. He failed. He failed to do it.
I'm with you, Jay.
So I think that's on his
I
mind.
I'd pay money to see what his like overall takeaway was from everything last season, from beginning of season through the early disappointment out at the first round of the playoffs or second round of the playoffs. Like I would pay money just to hear what he took away from that, because like I think the hard part of his job after that game was so fluky. Like it was like it's one of those ones where you could write it off as it just wasn't our day. Little things happen here and there. It just didn't break our way. We made some dumb decisions, but like whatever. Like it was such a fluky loss that you can't. It didn't point obviously to any one thing. And when you have something like that at the tail end of a great 15-2 season, where like why didn't we do well in the playoffs, like that level of analysis can be so difficult. I would pay to see what his takeaways and what he is eyeing at as solutions towards addressing that, because it can't, like it's all the way at the end of the season now, so what are you doing in the meantime to address it? Like how it's such a fine detail type thing,
What
like
you're doing is healing up Hutch's leg.
Yeah.
Oh, there is that. There are some more blatant things. You're right. Like getting our team healthy and keeping them healthy actually might just solve it all. So maybe
Yeah.
Is it funny? Is it funny? Like us talking heads, I guess that's what we are. We talk about this stuff and we're thinking these deep thoughts, like, oh, he's probably thinking all these deep thoughts. And probably the season's over. He just like gets some Cheetos and fucking watches Andy Griffith reruns or something like this. Like, me. Season's starting again. Oh shit! I gotta get back to work.
Hey, honey, what channel's Me TV? I'm trying to find it.
That's hilarious.
In
a way, UJ, I think that might be close to the takeaway. Is that it's like, well, like when I went to college, played football in college, my coach was taking over. He was a first year coach, and he was taking over a really successful program. And like he talked all the time about like when you're good, that's often that's the hardest time to improve, because it's hard to make major improvements when you're already really good, and we're already really good. So like right now his tweaks have to be highly calculated and smart. Like and in a way it's really just repeat on the process and just try harder next time. Like, you know what I mean? Like their process, like their way of operating is kind of set in stone. It's in their culture. It's be a little better today than you were yesterday, and just really be gritty in on the details and always focusing. So like really not anything has to technically change for them to like just go all the way through this year, other than maybe a little luck, right? Like with the injuries, like Bob said.
Yeah.
And that's the problem too. We all face, like, this was part of why this offseason, I think why everyone got so fixated on edge. It was like the only thing they could kind of be like almost approaching that part where we're like, we need that. Like that's how it's gonna get us over the top. But like it's like there's just no like real glaring need. And that was the closest thing to like a somewhat glaring need, but it wasn't even that glaring.
I'll
And
tell you
that's
one
the
thing
hard part about being good.
One thing they don't need though. They got lobster mac and cheese at the dining hall. Anyway. So we've been doing this for a while now. We went over the whole schedule, which is very what?
They don't need lobster mac and cheese at the mess hall?
No,
Is that
the
what you said?
Egyptian said that they asked him what his favorite snack was, and they had said lobster mac and cheese. He
But
says
you
you can
said
go in
that.
there and eat anytime you want. You can grab a
No, I know,
drink.
but
You can
you
grab
said that.
food. He says it's unbelievable.
I know, but you said that after what they don't need. So now
They don't need lobster mac and cheese because they have it already.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, right.
Hey, if it keeps Ahmed Hassanin happy, then it's needed.
Yes.
Did you see there was somebody was keeping track of which teams eat the most Uncrustables? I guess it's a pretty popular snack for players.
Really?
Little peanut butter jelly sandwiches.
That's kind of wild.
Who's the leader?
I think it was the Chiefs. Chiefs had the most, but I can't remember. It was like a couple months ago that I
That's
saw this.
hilarious. That's
That
so
actually
funny.
brings an intriguing dilemma to mind because I had a guy that has one of those apps that like scans products for like their nutritional and like what kind of bad chemicals they're made with, and like Uncrustables was supposedly like one of the worst. Maybe there's something we don't know about the chemicals.
I think if you're at that level of an athlete, you can get away with a few Uncrustables.
Yeah, I agree.
Especially those big linemen, man. They're just pounding food, keeping
what
the weight
they don't
on.
tell you is they're made by master chefs that actually make them in the back, and then they just look like Uncrustables.
All right, guys. I think on that note, we should hang it up. This was a fun thing to talk about. Really enjoyed talking about the upcoming schedule. We'll be
talked about the papacy.
The papacy. Yeah, we covered a lot of things here tonight. You know, we are quite worldly in our conversation.
Blue Kool-Aid,
yes.
World affairs.
Pope Leo, you know, the lion, Leo the lion.
Yep, it's a good sign.
Get all their news here.
Yes. So, anyway, I think is this time for on that note? Yeah.
That wait, but like, I have a question. If the Pope's from Chicago, that doesn't help the Bears, does it?
No, because he's from the south side of Chicago.
The Bears are hopeless.
Or maybe by the
Bears are more of a north side team than a south
Pat
side
O'Connor gives us the same blessing.
I don't know. Anyway, I think Pope did have a Michigan. I think the Pope does have a Michigan connection. Anyway, he went to school at up near Holland, right?
In Holland, yeah. Some theological high school or something. Yeah.
So he has a Michigan connection there. That's where he became a Lions fan. So
that's our narrative.
Yeah, we're
the
sticking
Pope
with
is
it.
a Lions fan.
So
we need to get those AI images out there. They have the White Sox ones.
Yeah. So on that note, let's hang it up, boys. Let's live to tell the tale, and we'll be back again in a week or so talking about more Lions news. Hopefully some minicamp news coming up and stuff like that. We'll talk about our new rookie class and the upcoming possibilities for the next season. The Hall of Fame game we're playing this year. That'll be fun. It's really not going to be fun. Those games suck.
Hall of Fame game,
anyway,
baby.
Those games suck. But
I mean,
but the Hall of Fame is a cool place. If you've ever been there, it's a good place to go.
Yes. I think it'll be great to watch Hendon Hooker perform that day.
Yeah, definitely.
And watch all our second stringers and scrubs play.
But thank you, all the fans, for listening to us. And
we
enjoy doing these podcasts. We do it. It's a labor of love, believe me, because we've been doing this a long time. We don't get paid, but we love it. So subscribe.
It's hard to believe.
Watch us on YouTube.
Get paid, I know.
Our producer, Kid J. Wait. Kid J. Kid J. The greatest producer who's not here today. I am actually sort of sub-producing. I think I'll get a raise and pay for this.
UJ.
Yeah. You know how good he is? He spurned us for the Athletic on draft night, y'all. So
here's where our producer's gonna fire me because
he's getting poached.
Because now follow us at Drinking the Blue Kool-Aid on Instagram and
Drinking Lions on Twitter.
Drinking Lions on Twitter and
DTBK _ Lions on one of them.
On the other one. And then
look it up on YouTube.
Yeah, look it up.
Kool-Aid.
It's the internet. This is 2025. Google will find us.
We're out there. Follow us.
Just
follow us because
EGs.
We'll make your life better. I promise you. You just listen to us. You will feel like suddenly lighter, and you'll you'll be walking in air. You'll be walking to work, listen to our podcast, and you'll feel not a care in the world because of all our wonderful Lions talking. It'll just make your day, you know.
And you'll be smiling walking down the street.
Yeah,
you know.
Hopefully not get hit by a car, but people probably
Well,
wonder,
you'll
why is
be
that guy
okay if you do
smiling?
because you were listening to us when you
Yeah,
went.
why is
so.
that guy smiling? He's listening in the casket.
He was
He'll
happy
be
when he
later on
died.
smiling. Wow, we're
He'll
really
have in his-
digressing now.
He'll leave the headphones in, so he's listening to us
The
until
last thing he
battery
heard
runs
was the
out.
podcast. Yeah.
Where's our producer to save
Bury
us
me
now?
with drinking the blue Kool-Aid in my ears.
Thank you, and as always,
Last but not least,
as always,
always,
go.